Rogue.
Hello everybody, a new episode from Confessions with a Facilitator, the mini Zoom series dedicated to facilitators and their favorite tools. And for those of you who don't know what tools we are talking about the tools of access consciousness, this huge box where we go, we pick out some tools, some toys, and we change our lives just by magic. There's one condition though, that we choose for it. So today I have the leisure, pleasure, excitement, and curiosity to welcome Cristina Orban.
Yay.
Is it?
Hi.
Wait, did I say your name correctly?
Well, you kind of missed the fact that I'm a doctor and my name is Cristina Corban.
So just to give you the first impression of the level of fried brains that I have, of bright phrase that I have. So it's just that we already had a call yesterday, a very nice one, and Cristina was present over there. And it's like, okay, let me just go back to the nice structure that I had and the form, and just to tell you that we have two rules. The first rule is that we have fun. The second rule is when we fail to have fun, we apply rule number 1, which goes, have fun. So for me, the fun has started already mixing up your name. How does it get any better than that? And then I would like to just thank you and acknowledge you for your contribution that you were yesterday in the call with discovering being you from behind the iron curtain.
That was an awesome call.
That was something that, are you willing to acknowledge that it was a co-creation and that you were a huge contribution into it? And now,
this has been really a really interesting thing for so long, maybe not only for me, but for many others from Eastern Europe, and I've been diligently unraveling stuff. And, when it actually gets fun is when it is like not even a question of who does this belong to, but you're already asking yourself, what am I aware of? Who is this? Who am I being here?
Yeah.
Is it even me? Yeah.
And this brings me to looking into your eyes and asking you, Cristina, who are you? And what is your favorite tool?
My gosh, you love that question with who are you, aren't you?
I just that's my, I get to be so happy and grinning because I'm so looking forward to see what this will bring about. So,
well, what brings about for me is it's exactly one of the tools of access, which is like, who am I being today and what grand and glorious adventure can I have today? So who do I choose to be right now? Right now, I'm your invitee. How do you say that?
I don't care.
Yeah.
You're my guest. You're my guest.
Who am I today? Right now, I'm the mysterious facilitator, access consciousness facilitator, talk to the entities facilitator, and in no way these are definitions of who I am. I get to choose who I be moment by moment by moment.
Oh, but this is only for you, right?
Yeah. Nobody else can do that.
No. I know. Yeah. I had to admit that you are that, on that superior level when you manage all this. When you manage all this and when it comes easy and natural to you. Yeah. So Pips is not for you. It's only for her. Not.
Well, and some other times I just choose to be the Eastern European, Romanian.
How fun is that, right?
Limited to me. That's a choice too. Huh?
And that's a choice too. And what would it take not to judge those choices, whatever we choose?
Yeah. and see the levels of perception, actually, because the moment you go like, what am I perceiving here, or who am I being, then all of a sudden you are not identified with that limitation. You are just aware of all these places where you function from, and the awareness that you have of people.
There's the cat. I hear it. There's a cat wandering around in front of the camera.
He wants to open that door for him, but I'm not gonna. Look at his beautiful face.
Show it to us. Where's the cat?
What?
Show us the cat. Show us the cat. Show us the
Kitty.
cat. Show us the cat. Where's the cat? There's the cat. Yay!
Let me out. Let me out. Nope. Right now, dear Kitty, I'm not your slave. Like, see, this is one of the aspects of who I am, and oh God, grand and glorious adventure I have. Sometimes, yeah, I'm just a slave to this kitty. He owns me.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't we just love that?
I do.
Until it doesn't work for us anymore, and then we get pissed off, and then, what about allowance?
He's like, hey, you don't have your priorities straight. You are first my slave, and then you are in this interview with Selena.
And then you get to be the infinite being that you want to be, but first you're my slave. Good kitty, good kitty.
Good kitty.
But again, this brings me to something else. This brings me to something else, like how many things and how many other people own us. How many times are we making others and other things, like priority in our lives, and we don't.
Yeah, I love that you bring that up, because you were asking about tools earlier, and one of my favorite tools from Talk to the Entities actually is are you the dominant entity in your life? All right.
So everything that just comes up right now in me, like in these 10 seconds, it's only for me, peeps, not for you. Let me just be straight about that. Can we please destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, what, what, nitrous, boys and beyonds. I just need to bring out the heroes of consciousness. It's not a need, but they're required here. And for those of you who don't know yet the heroes of consciousness, the POC and the POD, then there's the clearingstatement.com, where you can go and actually listen to the wonderful explanation of Dane here, the co-founder of Access Consciousness. Whoa! So now that you just brought this into my awareness, tell me more about, oh yeah, the dominant entity in your life.
So, this is very much in line with the idea with committing to your life, where even when you allow other beings to kind of dominate you, it is you who give them that power. And when you start recognizing that, then, well, you have more choice.
Yeah. And what keeps us from recognizing that we are the ones who are giving away our power to other people or to other things? Or
I wonder, I don't know about you, but with me, I did not come into this life with parents and society and authority figures going like, you are the dominant entity in your life. They were more like, you listen to me and do what I said and basically shut up.
Well, let me just say that I can relate to that. And everywhere where you were not allowed to recognize that you are the dominant entity. Well, what is the dominant entity? Let's just get a bit there, because people are like, entity, what's that? And then a dominant entity, that's somebody like her. What's that? What's a dominant entity?
What is a dominant entity?
Yeah, that's a good. I asked first.
Well, the thing is, we're both facilitators, and it's like, well, ask a question.
Yeah.
What is the dominant entity?
To me, the dominant entity is the one that makes the choices that will create more, but also the one that creates and makes choices. That's the dominant entity in consciousness, in the sense of, yes, I can create shit if I want to, but
Yeah.
who else am I allowing to impact my life? And who else am I allowing to, show me the direction of my life? And on what basis am I doing that?
It's in a way, basically, the question, who is creating your life? Is it you or someone else? And the moment when you start to realize it's actually you who creates your life, even when you create yourself as a victim of seen or unseen or whatever, or kitty, or the house or the business. I mean, there's so many entities ready to, we are so readily available to give up the responsibility for our lives. It's like, oh, the job got me, I need to do this. I don't have a choice. The fact that you actually give that job the power over you, or that cat, or that spouse, or that government, or whatever.
Money comes
or
to
money,
me.
or yeah, where it's like, oh, I cannot make choices because that
I don't have money. I have this idea, very interesting idea, which is only mine, that people refuse to create more, and they refuse to choose based on 3 reasons. I don't have the money, I don't have the time, and I can't. So, quiz. You will all pass the test or not. Which one of those 3 is a lie? Well, you failed. All of them are lies.
You're the best.
I know, I'm the best. I invented the quiz, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, again, going back to who's the dominant entity of your life, that stirs up a lot of stuff.
It does. And people use this a lot in relationship with the ghosts, let's say, or the unseen. But this is where the beauty of Talk to the Entities and Corban-Orgera and all of that comes in, where you actually can take the tools of Talk to the Entities and apply them to the relationships with people, with bodies, or objects, or whatever.
I just got the green because the moment I asked who's the dominant entity of your life, and you started to talk about, and it's like I got my mom, and then you continued with the ghosty part of it, and I was like, yeah, she's dead, and she's still being here and there the dominant entity. And how do you recognize that actually? What
choice
it's
that
a choice.
You can make. Yeah. What if, I really wonder how would it be like, to just go around and be like, who's the dominant entity in my life in regards to this and this and this and this and this, and just look at all the stuff that you're first aware of all the entities ready to take the responsibility off your shoulder. It's like, oh yeah, let me abuse you, and you're like, okay,
just a tiny little bit. Yeah. And we're doing that with such an ease, in the sense of every time we get to, oh, I don't know how to solve this, or I don't know, oh, someone help me, and there's somebody helping you.
And this is where there's such a small nuance between being is like asking something or someone to assist you. You can do it from that needy place, or you can do it from the I'm the dominant entity here, so you bitch come and
you solve this shit for me. I don't have to get involved.
Who's available to assist me with this?
Yeah.
Who, I mean, and in business and in other things, that there's a great question. It's not how, it's who. You know, I mean,
I don't. Tell me.
Let's say you'd like to do something, okay? And instead of asking, how do I do that? You ask, who can I employ to do that? Who can do that other than me? Someone else than me.
Who can I employ to do that?
Yeah.
Who can I? Wow, this is cool. So
how?
This is a premiere. Selena didn't know this too. So who can I employ to do that for me? No, I have to admit. So when I said, you said, yeah, you can, instead of how, you go to who. I was like, what, who, what? And then you said, okay, who else can I employ to do this for me?
Yeah, who can assist me? Who is available? Who's willing? Who?
Oh, but this brings me to something else. This brings me to, am I really willing to receive the who?
Well, and are you really willing to utilize and receive all the everything that's available to you, or do you have to do it all?
I think it's only about me right now.
Of course, you're not aware, of anyone else doing that.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you can have a lot of conversation about all the tools, but when they strike a chord in me, it's like this space where I go like, why didn't I know that before? Is why a question? No, it's not. So how can I use it to my advantage? But then at the same time, I'm like,
people on the horses here.
Well, people on the horses, take the leadership of your own life.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a very okay. To what extent are we willing to allow people to contribute into our lives, and to what extent?
And entities of any kind. I mean, let's say in relationship with the government, or in relationship to IRS, or another. How would it be like to be like, hey, to invite to ask for contribution from these entities?
Whoa! Is like how would you do that?
Instead of being like, oh my God, let the IRS abuse me, be like, hey, what can you contribute to me? How many people do you think ask contribution from the IRS? Or something similar, it could be like something else. Another, like the city, cum zici primărie?
Town hall. That was a little piece in Romania.
The city council or whatever. Or yeah.
I mean, there are no rules by which to play with it. You can just play with it and have fun with it and see what happens. And to me, this is the main ingredient. Like, in my interesting point of view, having fun with it and not expecting it to work a certain way. Now that you told me, okay, who can assist me with this? It's like, okay, I'm going to play with it. And I have to admit that before we came into this interview, I was kind of, like, my whole agenda just got a bit messed, and I'm sending you a message and I'm saying, hey, we have a date in like 1 hour. And I was like planning to ask you, can we please postpone it for 2.5 hours so that, and then you say, no, we 10 minutes. Oh, 10 minutes. I can do 10 minutes. I can totally do it. And then it was simply asking a question, and allowing the things to just shift in.
Yeah. Isn't it fun how stuff has the ability to just work out if you don't try to control it.
Yeah, absolutely, totally. And I
Yeah,
was like, Cristina is my friend. I can always ask her. But
totally.
it could have been any other person. I would have asked because it's at that point, it was that 10 seconds when I felt the in 1 hour is not going to work. So
Yeah.
thank you for being present with my energy somehow and picking it. Yeah, but we're speaking about witches, right? So picking it up and, somehow responding to it.
Mm-hmm. And is this series of interviews that you're doing, that, by the way, are rocking? It's so cool. Do they have like are they an entity as well, and can they assist you with perfect timing so everything works out the best for
Actually,
you,
they
for
did.
me, and for whomever else is watching this? Thank you very much.
I have the goosebumps because it actually is. Ever since I started this series, it feels like the interviews are pouring in and they are settling themselves in a certain order. And at some point, there are those moments when one of the appointment falls off and it feels like everything is going to be just exploded, and it's not today. And there are those moments when you know that this is going to go there and this is going to go there. And how fun is it to have all this ease with whatever you're doing? This is, like agenda and people involved, but how much fun and how much ease can you have with whatever you're doing when you're asking for, okay, cool, so who can assist here? Thank you very much. Yeah.
And this is like another facet of being the dominant entity, while allowing yourself to dance with your creations and being led by your creations in a way,
Wow, that's gorgeous. You're your dominant entity that allows itself to dance with the creation and allows the creation to take the lead.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And this just takes me just into a tool that's like one of my personal favorite, because it helps with X-Men and whatever, which is everything that is the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be.
That's, if you ask me, this is, you're going to fry my brains in 3 minutes and then it's done. The interview is done.
My pleasure, my dear.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh,
thank you so much. Bride brains. Fried brains. That's cool.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So, what's possible beyond mind?
What's possible beyond the mind? Yeah, without the mind. I actually perceive that my brains are dissolving.
Yeah.
It looks funny and it feels
funny. You were just saying about, like scheduling and putting stuff together, thinking about it, and all of a sudden, beyond the mind falls into place, beyond your expectations. Not that you have expectations, because,
it's only me who happens to have expectations and projections sometimes, only me, nobody else. But then there is something else that popped into me, like right now, like how much force and how many forces. I'm not speaking about energies, like like how much force are we using to put stuff into place instead of asking for contribution for whoever is willing to contribute to us.
Well,
and how much of this is not ours. Who does that belong to? That's like, a fun one.
Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah.
Woo! Now you know what, you fried my brains.
How much energy are you using to avoid the ease you could be choosing?
What?
How much energy are you using to avoid the ease you could be choosing? Everything that is already shown and created.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, I mean, how is it something really very something that we learn like from the first 2 years of our lives from our parents or from whatever, that actually life it's ease and you could choose ease and everything is there for you to support and assist and answer to your asks?
I don't know about you, but I missed that part.
Me too. Thank you, Access Consciousness.
Thank you, Access Consciousness. Actually, this is a moment where I am really deeply grateful for the tools. Whoever they are, whichever they are, however you use them, whenever you use them. It's that one thing about the tools of Access Consciousness that they work. You just okay, are you willing to see them work? Are you willing to allow yourself to see them work and acknowledge that they work without allowing your head to interfere and project the result on how? And then again, how many points of reference have you fixed there somewhere to let you know that the tools work or not? And you know, I have these people coming to me sometimes and they're saying, I use this and I use this and I use this and it didn't work. Truth? They didn't? Or it's you who didn't want them to work?
Exactly, work the tool. You know, with Access, it's such a broad spectrum of different tools that you can use, you know, for different things if you're willing. But actually, it gets you back to the choice of changing, and then, you know, the tool is just the tool that you're using.
The tool is just an accessory to bring you there with ease.
And sometimes I look, for instance, we were playing with the 10 keys to total freedom. Is like every one of them, each one tool, it's enough to free you, you know, if you just work it, as you said.
If you just allow yourself to give yourself the space. And what I find personally, as I said, it's to have fun with it, to have fun with the tools, and then not judge the result of whatever you created with the help of those tools. Because this is another thing. Are you willing to receive the result of your creation? And this is something that this is a question that I couldn't receive a few months ago. I couldn't receive this question. I had created something, and then when it came into being, as you said, the creation has an entity of itself. And when it came into being, I was upset somehow that it didn't turn out the way I projected it to be. So instead of being grateful for whatever came up, I was just totally destroying it. And then another facilitator brought this question into the discussion and said, are you willing to receive your creation? And I hated it. I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated her and I hated the question. And I had my 10 seconds of deep resentment. And then I made another choice. Are you willing to receive your creation? I'm going to ask again, are you willing to receive your creation?
Yes.
And everything that doesn't, everywhere that we are not allowing ourselves to receive our creations without point of view, can destroy and uncreate that.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, good, book, all nice, boys and beyonds. Being a big shit of being the most marvelous thing that you have ever created up to now. And how does it get any better than that?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It seems so cool what you just said now is like when a question is so appropriate, let's say, it's so like spot on your thing, it's annoying, it troubles, you don't like it. And actually the change is not like comfortable, it takes you a little bit beyond your comfort. So yeah, if you find yourself pissed at the facilitator asking you a question, you might want to look what's right about that.
And you might want to look also at how much you want to control your creation.
Which is like exactly the opposite of like, it's so not being the dominant entity in your life. When you're the dominant entity in your life, do you need to control anything?
Yeah, good point. Good point. So wherever we have identified that being me personally as well, that being the dominant entity of my life meant to be controlling everything, I'm willing to destroy and uncreate that. Are you?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, but poco, nice, boys and beyonds. That's a good one. So how many definitions do we have about the dominant entity?
Yeah, and what that means.
And what that means. And that is not what the dominant entity is. And how many definitions we have of what not a dominant entity is. And it is. Yeah. And yeah, you know, everything that comes up, just take the pod, and destroy and uncreate all that. Yeah.
No energy on that.
Absolutely not. I'm like, but I have to be, you know, I have to be present.
Be present. Yeah.
Be present and be the dominant entity of
I'm
your life.
I'm so grateful you're present with me here, Selena.
It's a wonder. But thank you so much for being here, and thank you for having brought this topic into into this series. It's like, you know, like a cherry on top. We talk about tools. We see how other facilitators use them. We see how they could be used in everyone's life. And at the end of the day, who is the dominant entity in your life?
Yes.
Ooh, I get the good bumps. I get goosebumps. Wow. Thank you so much for this moment, for this exchange. It's like, Thank
you for inviting me and for this whole series. You know, I'm very grateful for it, and super happy to co-create with you and it.
But actually, thank you for reminding me that this series has an entity of its own, and that it's really creating itself, and then it uses me somehow to, you know, put it into the world. But at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about all this.
And what contribution can you be for it and it for you? I mean, what else is possible there?
And what if it wasn't? And what if it wasn't a question of owning one another, but really co-creating with one another? So thank you for that. In the name of the series. And Cristina, now if anybody wants,
always.
Thank you. I think we have a bit of a lag. No, like the décalage.
I think.
So now, before we say goodbye, where can people find you, Cristina?
In the air. Well, on Access Consciousness site at accessconsciousness.com/Cristina Corban.
That's one.
place. Another place is loveoflife.company is my website. And somewhere on YouTube, I think.
Oh, cool.
And what
So
else is possible? On Facebook.
on Facebook.
On
However,
Facebook.
you will get all the information in the description of the video.
That's so cool.
Until next time that we see each other face to face or virtually, a huge kisses and hugs for you and to all those watching, and all of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you. See you.